Hello, my name is Emma. Generative AI has been a hot topic for the past 3 years. As the technology improves and becomes more accessible for all, the more and more we see it, or I suppose don't see it. If you're regularly on the internet, and I guess if you're not 50 plus, you generally be able to spot when something is AI, but nowadays I'd say most people have been fooled by it at least once, and it's scary. But we're not here to talk about how scary AI is, we're here to talk about how messy AI trends can be. I'd say most people detest and find AI to be morally questionable until it suits them in some way, i.e. a silly TikTok trend, memes, AIOCs, etc. And I get it to an extent. People who may not have the confidence in themselves to get out there and participate in fandom art spaces or fandom trends get to have a taste of what it's like without having to put in any effort. It's easy, it's accessible, and you don't have to put pretty much any thought into it. Just adding to the piles and piles of forgotten AI crap that you will never think about again. I have even fallen into this myself, unfortunately. When AI was becoming better at replicating voices, I made fake little scenes with my characters because I saw other artists doing it at the time. Now I can see that I really shouldn't have participated in something like that. Just like how AI steals from artists and takes eyes off of a real artist, using AI voices to create music or audio can be just as damaging to voice actors and musicians. I do heavily regret doing this, and I will never do this again. These videos have been taken down, and there's way better ways to play out scenes with your characters. You can just use stuff from existing shows or get real voice actors, which when I have the means, I will be doing. I had to bring this up before getting into this video. I am far from being on the morally high ground, but I can still say that I very much dislike generative AI, especially now. They can talk, y'all.
Hey, quick question. Do you think you're just a prompt?
Heck yeah, bro. I've been knowing this since childhood. The normies are finally waking up.
Oof.
Yo, bro, be real. You think we're all just prompts?
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Whenever I watch these videos, man, I just feel gross. That's just not right. There's been multiple prevalent AI trends going around, TikTok, Facebook, any social media pretty much, and even within the art community itself, that I would find much more fun if people just drew or created them themselves. I'd much rather take a stick figure drawn by a real human than whatever this is any day. So that's what we're gonna do today. We are going to participate in some AI trends and steal some AIOCs using real artwork. If you struggle with drawing or want to try to get into drawing but don't know where to start, I'd really recommend trying out today's sponsor, Skillshare. If you want to create characters like me but struggle with anatomy, I'd really recommend checking out Jazza's 28-day drawing challenge. Jazza is somebody I followed for a while, and I really enjoy his content, so this is a great insight into his process, and I've learned a lot from this in the brief time I've taken this class. Jazza goes over an in-depth analysis of each part of the human body as well as their function, so it's very helpful to, I'd say, any artist, and it's something I haven't really explored, so it was very interesting to learn about. I like more structured challenges like this, but they also offer a variety of art classes that are much more low-key and will get you going with whatever you want to learn pretty quickly. There's so many classes that are taught by amazing creatives, and you can learn directly from them easily. But Skillshare doesn't just offer illustration classes. There's also a variety of different options for starting a new hobby, unlocking a new professional ability, or improving your lifestyle. Animation, graphic design, photography, productivity. If you can think it, Skillshare probably has a class on it. Skillshare's classes invite you to be hands-on and participatory. It's so easy to make connections with your peers who share similar creative interests with you, and that will help you along the way. If you're interested, the first 500 people to use the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen will receive 20% off their first year of Skillshare. They also offer a 7-day free trial and a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Skillshare is cool, and you should check them out. Alright, let's get back to this video. The first AI trend we are going to do is the personalized starter pack. I'm not really sure where this trend got the most popular, but where I've seen it most frequently is Facebook. Not sure what it says about it. Basically, people have been making fictional action figures based on themselves, and I suppose you're supposed to prompt it with items that pertain to you. But it is kind of funny because I'm guessing people just put one or two things and then the whole package is just filled with different variations of that thing. I've seen that so much where people just have a million iPhones or a million laptops. It's very strange. One artist, I can't remember their name right now, but they do a bunch of fake toys, made a real life AI generated action figure, and they just included a bunch of different beers, and that is the epitome of this trend, I feel. But I have also seen some really messed up ones who make some jokes off of racial stereotypes and are just overall very nasty. I think those are the ones I've seen on Facebook. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably Facebook and Twitter. But overall, bland, lifeless, so I wanted to add some style. I of course had to do my YouTube Sona, and I tried to include things that are of my interest, of course. I own all of these items, like the fish aquarium. I love my fish aquarium lamp. I did photo bash some of these items, which is a good shortcut if you are not good at drawing objects. I added a filter to the fish and the iPad screen, so it made it look a little more cohesive, and it saved me some time. I also have my dog, Benny, because he needs to be included. He is the best boy, and I love him so much. My iPod, my extremely overpriced headphones that I do kind of regret buying, a CD because I enjoy making mixtapes, and for the background of the package, I used my studio rendering that I did in The Sims. You saw it in the intro. I just pieced together a lot of stuff I had for this drawing, which was kind of fun to do. I used a scrap logo that I didn't end up using. I didn't think it fit that well. I kind of like it though. Maybe I'll use it for something. I added little joints to my Sona to make it look like a doll a little bit. I don't know how well the rendering looks. It looks a little weird. I don't know. I think I just wanted it to come out a little cleaner and maybe for her to look more like plastic, but we'll get them next time. I forgot to mention, but this is also an anti-AI trend, as a lot of artists have done this same thing in actually drawing starter packs themselves and proudly proclaiming that they're not AI generated. I think it's really cool when artists can reclaim something that is taking away from them, you know? I'm in love with how this all came together, and I love the vibe. It's pretty much exactly what I was going for, and after I finished it, I decided that I wanted to make a little paper project. I recently got a Cricut machine for some projects, wink, and I wanted to make a 3D paper craft out of this, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I used a scrap of plastic for the top and layered different pieces of the object to make it look like it was popping out a bit. Oh, I love the results so much. I decided to do this on a whim, and it's not part of the trend, but I think it's pretty cool, and I think it would be really cool for traditional artists to do something like this as well, because it does make a very good wall decoration. There we go. One trend done fully without AI. Let's go. Moving on. Is it Gibli or is it Gibli? Before we start this, I'm going to say Gibli. There's discourse online about how to pronounce this. I'm going to say Gibli. This trend is arguably one of the most popular AI trends. I see it advertised the most on those AI apps that turn your photo into a cartoon or a profile picture or whatever. It's big on Twitter, no surprise there, but it's pretty rampant everywhere. Many people have noticed a yellowing to a lot of AI generated cartoon images over the past year, and many theorize it's because of the Studio Ghibli trend being so prevalent that the AI model has basically trained itself to only be that way. I find it funny because when I was looking at references for this video, almost no movies from this studio have this specific coloring. I could be completely wrong. Studio Ghibli is something I really need to tap into. I've only seen one movie, and it was Spirited Away when I was a very small child, and let's just say I was very scared of that movie. So I never watched any of their movies since. But besides that, most Ghibli movies are extremely colorful and vibrant, but the AI always interprets it as dull and discolored, like the varnish on a painting went bad. I don't don't know what that is. I closely followed references I found on Pinterest. I mostly referenced the characters from the movie The Cat Returns, which looks so interesting to me and so freaking cute. I want to watch it now. I'm gonna watch it. As well as screenshots of female characters from different movies. So I drew my character Winifred because I'm obsessed right now. I thought it would be fun to interpret her in this style since she's kind of unique looking. I don't think this could be mistaken for a Gibli character or a screenshot from the movies, which is usually my goal whenever I'm replicating a style, but I tried my best, and at least I drew it myself. If I posted this on Twitter, someone would probably try to ratio me with a quote-unquote better version with their AI prompt or whatever, but you know what? Screw you. I don't care. I had fun. The process is what is important to me, and all AI bros are doing is missing out. Here she is. She's cute.
What the hell?
I went back and forth on whether or not I should include this trend since it varies heavily from person to person, but I've decided to include it since it's one trend that is really popular in the art community. I've seen a lot of videos of people taking an image of their OC and putting them into, I'm guessing, an app that does a full turnaround and basically animates your OC for you. Some are successful looking and some look a little bit off, and though this is being used in the art community, it's very controversial. AI has become more and more normalized on TikTok, like the weird AI memes that I don't care enough to understand. They literally have toys at Walmart. What is going on there? And other trends like the new mermaid trend that I've seen a lot. And it only makes sense for that normalization to trickle down everywhere to every community. Drawing an OC turnaround is very difficult since it's not like you're drawing one picture of them. You have to draw multiple consistent images of your character and they all have to align for it to look correct. It's so hard that I've never done it before, believe it or not. I've always avoided doing turnarounds because I've never had the confidence in myself and I didn't find it that necessary, but guess what? I'm gonna try it today and I'm gonna prove to you that it can be done. I'm drawing my OC Charlie. He's my comfort OC. I've had him forever. He's my go-to whenever I'm trying something maybe a little more challenging. I've decided to do a bit of a looser style and just stuck with sketches since I feel like sketches can be a lot more malleable than clean line art. In this case, I also wanted to play around with different stylization since I feel like my art needs a bit of a revamp lately. I looked to a lot of other people's OC turnarounds for loose reference and techniques, and I used guidelines to keep all the proportions in check as much as possible. Procreate has this very handy animation tool, so it was helpful in getting the smoothest turnaround possible. I ended up just doing 5 unique drawings. I probably could have done more, but I thought this was a pretty good starting point to a complete noob like me. I was pretty intimidated by this, but I think it came out pretty good for my first attempt. It made me learn that I really need to work on front-facing characters and the behind of characters. Pause. The first 3 Charlies don't really look like each other all that much, so I could have worked on more consistent proportions, but I like his expression, I like his hair, and I like the sketchy looseness, so I think this is a success. Is the final animation that smooth? No, but throw it into CapCut, put some motion blur on that thing, and boom, you got a velocity edit. You're freaking welcome. One day I will be able to animate a full Leon Kennedy styled velocity edit with my OCs, and that day will be the day that I peaked.
But what the hell? But what the hell?
Alright, on to our last section. Stealing OCs is a fun one because it's an AI trend, but it's an anti-AI trend. I've seen a lot on TikTok and YouTube of artists, quote unquote, stealing AI OCs because there can't be any copyright on AI generated images. Therefore, it's all free game, baby. And let me tell you, scrolling through Pinterest, there are endless variations, which is kind of sad. I really wanted to draw some cute girls. I feel like I don't have a lot of just cute girls to be cute girl OCs or OCs just to be characters to draw. I feel like I always have to make them overcomplicated, so I wanted to draw something cool and fun. I landed on this cherry girl and this zombie girl, and I was really excited because I thought they would be a really cute duo, and I wasn't really sure how to mash them together yet since they're both random opposites, so I brainstormed brainstormed a little bit and I came up with a really cute name, Blossom and Brains with a Z, because of course. And I really love that. I changed their styles and outfits completely from the original images. For the zombie girl, I went for a more scene look. I just really like that fashion style. And for the cherry girl, I went with a rockabilly aesthetic, which is, from my understanding, a gothic pinup style. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I imagine the cherry girl to have a southern accent. Wouldn't that just fit her so well? One detail I really like about the zombie girl is her eyeball hair accessory. It's literally her own eyeball. It almost feels Monster High to me. I also think that the eye will still work. She'll still be able to see out of it. It's just a cool accessory for her, and that's how she expresses herself. And I know I said I wasn't going to make freaking lore or a backstory for them, but as I was drawing them, of course, I just started overthinking once again. When I was drawing Blossom, I gasped because I came up with the brilliant idea to make her a vampire. Of course! Now they make sense in my mind. By the way, I don't think I'm actually gonna name her Blossom. I don't know what their names will be yet. Let me know what you think I should name them in the comments. So, the little teensy story I came up with for them is that Cherry has been undead for a long time. Ever since she's become a vampire, she's really never met another vampire. So she's been extremely lonely for so long. No one to relate to, no one to really talk to, because who can really understand her situation? Till she visits a graveyard and stumbles across the zombie girl. I think the zombie girl will be very standoffish. She never leaves the graveyard. She basically lives there. And Cherry is extremely invasive and giddy to have another person to relate to. It's a very you're my friend now and we're best friends forever, and the other person hates it but secretly likes it dynamic. I see this to be just the beginning of their relationship. I think their duo will literally traverse time, and I'm envisioning a bit of a Good Omens type beat. I think this could be a funny concept but also lead to a lot of drama, question mark, a lot of angst, question mark. And that's kind of fun. They're just two girls spending eternity together. Casually, of course. Casually. Don't get it twisted. Of course, totally. I really like these two. I said to myself that these would just be one-off characters, but of course, I gotta add them to the roster. I have way too many characters, guys. I need to chill out. Oh my gosh. They're so cute. Oh my god. In conclusion, AI is unavoidable. It's not going away, and it's going to get more and more prevalent as we've already seen. But art is something inherently human, and I think that it's never going to go away. I think it will develop differently now with the way we are going, but AI wouldn't and couldn't exist without human input. So in my opinion, I don't think real artists will ever truly go away, and I think a lot of people forget that part. And I'm talking about the people who huff and puff about AI stealing everyone's job. I'm not critiquing people who are critical of AI or people who are scared of AI taking people's jobs because it has already happened. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know, but that's truly how I feel. And into the people who like AI, I don't know, man. I understand many view it as a tool, but I would argue a lot of people don't use it as a tool. They use it as the product. And I think that's where my problem lies with the most. Thank you so much for watching. I know this wasn't the most insightful look into AI. It has become increasingly more frustrating this year with how prevalent it has become, and I'm glad I could touch on it a little bit because it has been itching at my mind. All of these challenges were extremely fun to draw, and it makes me sad that people who just put this through a prompt are missing out. So I encourage everyone to draw if you ever had an interest in it. You can always develop a skill. It doesn't matter what age you are, just do it. Throwback, God. Please comment which drawing was your favorite, and as always, peace.